This seems like an easy video to make. That one? Nope. You wish, and me too. Honestly, the correct answer would be farming Exodia Contagion from the night of Nabarus event. Oh, when is it coming back? In 2 years. Yeah, see, that's not answering the question, honestly. So please, it may seem like I'm meandering at times, but I promise I am going somewhere with this. Also, you don't have to watch these videos, but I'll be using some of the results I reached in them, so that you know I'm not pulling it out my ass. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The big idea here is that Thrax spawns in this mission. A lot. And they can drop arcanes. And you sell the arcanes for many platinum and then dissolve unwanted arcanes for even more plat. Woo, yeah. Okay, but you're not going to provide any numbers? No. Okay, fine, I'll do it then. To be fair to these guys, the prices were different back then. But seriously, before you make such extreme claims, how about you do a smidgen of research? Okay, bring out the crumbly paper. I determined that 1 Phosphor is 0.056 platinum and 1 Saruman Arcane breaks down into 22 Phosphor, meaning that 1 Saruman Arcane is at least worth 1.23 platinum and a maxed version consisting of 21 Arcanes are at least worth 25.9. 26 platinum. The Thrax has a 0.34% chance to drop one of its 15 arcanes. This is doubled on the steel path and doubled again with a mod drop booster, giving each Thrax a 20.4% chance to drop an arcane. Let's do a bit of spreadsheet magic. And it turns out that under perfect conditions, 1 Thrax is worth 0.37 platinum, which of course means that, under perfect conditions, killing 100 Thrax is worth 37 platinum. Wow! So, to keep up with Profit Taker, you must kill 583 Thrax an hour under perfect conditions. To be perfectly honest, I don't think you should expect to make 100 plat an hour in here. 60 to 70 sounds more realistic, and only if you commit to at least 2 hours at level cap, as that's where the majority of the arcanes are gonna drop. Needless to say, this is a pretty terrible farm, but that's not the end of it, because Omni Fishes exists, but in order to talk about those, we first have to discuss ducats. It's inevitable that when doing fishes, you'll eventually end up with an abundance of basically worthless junk, and the only reasonable thing to do is turn them into ducats. Now, prime mods used to sell for 120 to 150 if you were patient enough. That is long gone. You'd be lucky to sell one for 60 these days, and you really should set your scope on 50 platinum per mod, which each cost 300 ducats. 50 divided by 300 is 1 ducat equals 0.16 platinum. So any 45 ducats part is at least worth 7.5 platinum. Since most players spam rat relics in Omnia Fishes, that's at least 7.5 plat in most rotations. It would definitely be lowballing to say that you'd only get 10 plat per rotation, but let's just play it safe and go with 10. In theory, you'd be able to complete rotations of Void Cascadia in 2 minutes. And let's just assume that everything works out for a second. Okay? That means you can do 30 rotations in an hour, so 30 times 10 is 300 platinum. Plus the 60 platinum from arcanes, that brings us up to 360 platinum. However, if you've played Void Cascade, you know this isn't true. The exolizers spawn in a clusterfuck. Sometimes they take way too long to spawn, drawing out the rotation needlessly, and sometimes rotation overlap and thusly end way too fast, making it impossible to collect enough reactant, wasting that rotation entirely. In my experience, you can only complete 18 to 21 rotation depending on how diggish the void is on any given day. That brings us down to a 230 to 260 plat an hour, which is still really good, but I can't help but wonder if we can do better. But Zemtexagon, this is a pre-recorded video with a set conclusion. Why would you ask that if you didn't already know there was a more profitable game mode? I wouldn't. Setting aside all the issues of Void Cascade, like having to go to level cap and thusly invest a lot of time, or the fact that there may not even be an Omnia Fisher on that tile, it's not even the most profitable game mode. Warning, what I am about to talk about requires actual skill at the game. Like we just discussed, the majority of the platinum earned comes from the prime parts and not the arcanes. Thusly, the most important element is how many rotations can you do in an hour, and the answer is 33, at least based on the skill of me and my crew, and this is including time to pick a relic and load times. I am talking about void storms. These missions can be completed absurdly fast, but it requires you to get your head out of your ass. Ignore what the objective marker tells you. Each away crew need to handle their sub-objective on their own. Meanwhile, the 2 Protea on the ship need to spam the forward artillery and seeker volley like their life depends on it. Also, not only does the speed of relic cracking already push this into its own tier, you also get an ungodly amount of endo, which yes is quite valuable. You get about 800 each run, so that's almost 30,000 an hour, which is almost enough to max 1 prime mod, which will net you 100 platinum. Honestly, the endo from Railjack and the arcanes from Void Cascadia just about cancels each other out. There is an 8 plat difference. So let's not even consider that. Ultimately, Railjack lets you crack 65% more relics, making it 165% the efficiency of Void Cascade, making it 65% more profitable. Now, obviously, the downside is that you need 3 competent teammates, which, yeah, well, I don't think I need to say anymore. I'll also just throw it out there. You could just start farming mother tokens now.